Okay, it's time to make another batch of fungal-based compost tea. I'm trying to grow mycorrhizal fungus, but also bacteria. This recipe allegedly is provided by Soil Food Web Institute. I'm actually in the Soil Food Web Institute right now as a student, so I haven't gotten this far yet, so we'll see. But I'm just kind of gonna try something and then test it in the microscope and see what's there, not really knowing what I'm doing yet. This is a soil sample I took a year ago from the forest. So this, an old growth forest, so this has mycorrhizal fungus in it. And actually, I've been storing it for a year, but if you might not be able to see it on camera, but if you look really closely, there's actually some little small fungus heads in there, which is really interesting to me. But there should just be dormant biology in here for the most part. So we're going to have that. We have this cold pressed fish hydrolysate. Very, very important that it's cold pressed. And in this recipe, which I'm not going to get into, just going to show you what I'm doing here. This would be for making humic acids, but this particular recipe I'm going to try is without humic acids. It is just a soil sample and fish hydrolysate, and it is also supposed to have liquid kelp. I am just going to leave the liquid kelp right out of it. I really wanted to put some worm casting humic acid in there, but I think we'll just do this for now. So I've got my everything's ready to go, and I've got a very, very clean bucket. It's been washed out several times, and this is dechlorinated water going in here. The little aquarium aerator in it, which has also been thoroughly cleaned. Okay, so I have a half tablespoon here. I'm going to try this. I've got 5 gallons dechlorinated water, and I am going to add a little over 2.5 tablespoons of fish hydrolysate. Since I was a little messy with it, that'll be about right. Okay. Really not a lot of food. But that is going to be put into a bucket now for some reason that I am unaware of, about an hour before everything else. I've seen that a couple of times. Not totally sure why, but I am just going to follow that direction and come back in an hour. Okay, it's been an hour, and it's time to add the rest of the food. I'm now going to do 1.2 tablespoons of liquid seaweed. This is a half tablespoon. 1. That's about right. Okay. Okay, so now I've got my old growth forest soil in this mesh nylon bag that's going to be placed into this bucket for 18 hours. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is about 0.83 of a cup, or roughly around a cup, hopefully a little bit less than a cup. Okay, now here's the other thing. I wanted to add to this, I wanted this to be like maybe half of my starter, like inoculant basically. So my forest soil that I found, the old growth forest from a year ago, I opened the bag, and yes, those are probably a lot of dormant funguses and bacteria in there. You open the bag and you smell it, it smells nice and fresh, like a waterfall, you know? The funny thing about this, I just opened this. I've had this for maybe just a few weeks. It has a little, like, aerator here, I guess maybe to control humidity or something, like a coffee bag, right? And what do I find on the inside? All this moisture. I'm like, what the heck? If you were to smell this right now, I mean, it's a little hard to describe which acid it is, but it's an offensive smell. Um, and it's producing one type of gas. It's producing gases, and it's releasing some type of nutrient, whether it's nitrogen or sulfur or phosphorus, something, and the anaerobic microorganisms that are in here are releasing it as a gas. So it is being lost to the atmosphere, and it also means, of course, that there are anaerobes in here. So do I want to use this at all in any capacity? This is more or less completely worthless in my mind now, but because of that, I'm also kind of curious to use it and then analyze the microbes that I see, because they should be then anaerobes. But once we put it in a brew for 18 hours, we're creating a very aerobic environment, so it's possible that the anaerobes will die and then the aerobes will survive. I have no idea, but pretty curious. I left this out of this mix knowing, well, just really not wanting to screw up this first one. So that's all I got to say about that. Okay, we are analyzing the latest Compost tea fungal brew batch. It's been going for 18 hours, and I have some pretty interesting videos and pictures to show.